Hey, what's up guys, it's Unleash here today. We are back with another video on Sonic Racing CrossWorlds. And in today's video, we have a whole bunch of news regarding the game that came out recently after the game got its second trailer. So I don't think any more time needs to be wasted. So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's take a look at the news at hand. Onto Twitter, we Sonic Rush 3D. So first things first, we have 17 screenshots of the game. That's right, 17. Flipping out. The first one right here is of E Stadium, as this area is called in the game, the one that we saw in the trailer. And yeah, I really like how this area looks visually. It's a very colourful looking area. It's been a while since we've got something so colourful in a Sonic game, so honestly, I vibe with this one a lot. Then in the next screenshot, we have Water Palace from Sonic Rush, and it's kind of not looking like Water Palace at all, really. I don't remember this much gold being in Water Palace, but apparently it's Water Palace, so yeah, it looks very nice. It's good to see stuff from more than just like the mainline series getting involved in these racing games, because we've got Sonic Rush here, we've seen Dinosaur Jungle, Pirate Storm, so hopefully they keep this up because I'm liking the look of this, man. It's very nice. Then in the next screenshot right here, we have an area called Wonder Museum, and what's interesting about this little area here is that there are two of the Frontier statues on the left and right there, and there isn't really anything else interesting here, just the Frontier statues. So is this like a whole museum based on Frontiers? Or is it just this one specific room? Because then in other rooms I would assume you see stuff like, I don't know, maybe some Dark Gaia stuff. What else we got? Like maybe Babylon Rogues or something, stuff like that essentially. But yeah, apart from that, again, it's nice to see some brand new environments in this game. I'm very happy about this, and it's a visually nice looking area too. Then next up we have Surprise Surprise Seaside Hill, or in this case Ocean View. And yeah, nothing too interesting here really, just a massive loop, and you got Forces OC on the right there. Next up we have Metal Harbor from Sonic Adventure 2, and again, nothing too interesting here. We got some 2D flat looking chows on the left there, more Forces OCs on the right there, and some in the background too. And I can't, seeing those chow and these 2D chow, honestly, it really does stick out now. I mean, I'm sure graphics have come far enough for Sonic so that we don't have to have those 2D chow there. It just looks a bit cheap and off, especially because there are so many now. There's like one over to the left there, a lot in the background too. Like there's a lot of these things. It looks a bit out of place, and it doesn't help the fact that I think Metal Harbor looks a bit basic in this game, because I think a lot of it, like in terms of the roads or whatever, look very flat. There's no like texture on them, which is I think a big issue for Metal Harbor. It just makes it look very rushed and slapped together, which is a shame because a lot of other areas in the game look very nice, and Metal Harbor got kind of done dirty a bit here, so that is a shame. And next screenshot right here, we have what I think is Sky Road from Team Sonic Racing, but then the more I look at it, I don't think it's Sky Road. It just looks very similar to Sky Road because, I mean, the color's different for starters. I can't see Rooftop Run anywhere. It's just that the road looks very similar to Sky Road from Team Sonic Racing. So maybe it's actually part of like the Chow Park area or the Rainbow Gardens, which we'll see later on, or maybe it is a Sky Road after all and we're just not seeing the Rooftop Run part of it just yet. Then once again, shock, we have Casino Park in the 4th Sonic Racing game in a row. Woohoo. But that being said though, I think Casino Park compared to the 3 previous games looks so much better. I feel like there's a lot more colour stuff here popping out and everything. Like, even though again it's just a reused track from previous games, it still looks so much better. It's a shame that Seaside Hill didn't get that much of a graphical upgrade from the previous games, because Casino Park right here looks very nice. It almost makes you want to like let it slide there return again because of how good it looks, so points there for that I suppose. Then here we have a screenshot from an area called Lava Cave, which is not from a Sonic game in the slightest actually. This person called Chaotix12345 says, the Japanese site for the online test reveals a Galaxy Force 2 track. And yeah, we can see the comparisons in those two images right there, and yeah, I guess that is cool that actually doing stuff like this. I was hoping there would be more Sega parts in this Sonic Racing game compared to Team Sonic Racing, which had 0 in it, and yeah, looks like that will be coming true, which is very good. Then next up we see Shadow posing in Water Palace, and again looks nice except for those, once again, 2D chow on the right. They actually stick out like a sore thumb now because everything else looks so high quality except for those. Then next up we have an area called Kraken Bay, or is it Kraken Bay? I think it's Kraken Bay even, which is what we all thought was Pirate Storm from Sonic and the Secret Rings here, but I mean, I guess it still could be called Pirate Storm, but this is like a sub-area called Kraken Bay, maybe. And yeah, we see Sonic doing a pose right there. We got the SA2 ghosts all around, and yeah, just a nice area to see. And speaking of Secret Rings, here we have a screenshot of Dinosaur Jungle, and man, this looks very nice. The dinosaur looks very high quality as well. Then again, Metal Harbor, and this is what I mean with the roads right here. You can see the textures on them just look very flat. It looks like they just slapped on the textures from SA2 onto the road and just called it a day rather than actually, you know, making them indent into the roads or whatever, having like holes in the road and stuff like that. It just looks very flat. Like, this is what I meant Especially even the things on the left there too. That looks very cheap and it's slapped together from like SA2 textures. Not updated at all. I know people are gonna say, oh, Unleashed, stop complaining, god, we got a Sonic game, be happy. But shut up, man, I'm allowed to say stuff like this. It looks cheap, I'm sorry, it just looks crap, especially compared to everything else in the game looking so high quality, so shush. Then we see Jet in all his glory floating around in Metal Harbor on his extreme gear, and this is what I mean, right? You can see in the background at the bottom right, the 2D Chow, we can see them from a different angle. We see that, yeah, they're definitely flat. Like I'm telling you, man, they stick out like a sore thumb here. I know why it's like that is to make the game run better because you don't need those specifically to be 3D models, but they could have done something at least, something to make it look better because I'm pretty sure there's this exact same assets taken from Team Sonic Racing. Then here we see Metal Harbor again with Sonic throwing a punching glove. And now we have yet another one of the new areas in the game called Rainbow Gardens. And yeah, it's a very nice looking area right here. You got Amy flying through it all and I mean, yeah, there's not much to say about it, it's just a nice looking area. Then we have another screenshot of E Stadium with some Green Hill stuff on the left there for whatever reason. And then finally, we have Knuckles, Tails, and the goat Zaz for some reason in Bingo Highway. Right, let's go into the PlayStation blog where we have more news on the game. Sonic Racing CrossWorlds introduces travel rings, a new gameplay mechanic making each race feel surprising and fresh. Travel rings bring dramatic changes to races, transporting players from one world to a completely new location. The lead racer gets to choose the CrossWorlds that all players will be transported to on the second lap, allowing the environments to come alive with various track changes. Each CrossWorlds offers a theme park-like experience with surprises around every turn, including large monsters, engaging obstacles, and tracks filled with beautiful scenery. Alright, so essentially the big rings that you go through and everything, those are called CrossWorlds, so that's very interesting. And from what I've heard, there are actually 24 tracks in the game, which does not include the amount of CrossWorlds actually in the game either, so there's going to be a lot of environments in this game if they play the cards right. But then will this mean that some areas like a Dinosaur Jungle will only be playable in the CrossWorlds, meaning that there's not actually one full track of Dinosaur Jungle? Because if that's the case, that will be a bit disappointing, I can't lie. I hope every area that's actually in a CrossWorld does have its own track later on in the game, because if not, again, it'll kind of be another radical hype situation in Shadow Generations where you're just in this one environment but it keeps getting interrupted by another area, so hopefully it's not like that. We've elevated the Sonic Racing experience with an RPG-like gadget feature. Prior to the race, racers will be able to equip and combine gadgets that give different perks to shake up the race for more unique ways to play. Not enough items, looking to get some extra boost, there's a gadget for those and more. Powerful gadgets require more gadget slots, so make sure you're optimizing your collection and increasing your inventory as you play through the game. As you progress, the more slots and even stronger gadgets you'll unlock to make the game that much more exciting. Selecting the perfect combination of gadgets for your gameplay style just might be the edge you need to come out in first place every time. This game also brings the most extensive vehicle customization in the series so far. For the first time ever in a Sonic racing game, characters are not tied to specific vehicles and can race in all kinds of vehicles. Characters and vehicles all have a unique set of parameters like speed, acceleration, and handling, so players can try different combinations to best suit their racing style. In addition, players can mix and match parts from different vehicles to create their own custom vehicle, and if that wasn't enough, players can choose colours, decals, and textures for almost every aspect of the vehicle, including the interior. We have no doubt racers will enjoy tinkering in the garage to create a one-of-a-kind vehicle that not only looks fantastic, but performs amazingly on the track. And we have an image right here showing what they actually mean by this, so yeah, you can pretty much just combine any parts of any different car in the entire game to create whatever kind of car you want, and yeah, this is even a bigger step up from Team Sonic Racing, so this is a great feature to have. Many of you noticed the Easter egg in the teaser from last December, but it's official, Extreme Gear is back. Having first appeared in Sonic Riders, the Extreme Gear flying hoverboards offer a boost-based racing style in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds. We hope players are excited to see this long-time fan favourite finally return in a Sonic Racing game. Alright, so it seems that the Extreme Gear in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds does have a slight gameplay change compared to the cars, which I'll admit I was not expecting, so fair dues there. Now with that being said, I still don't think it'll be as good as the original Sonic Riders because, I mean, that is the peak of the hoverboards in the games, but I wasn't really expecting them to do that anyways, because it's a, kart racer. And then finally on the PlayStation blog, King Dodonpa is putting the finishing touches on the competition now, but PS5 players can sign up for the closed network test for a chance to experience the racetrack sooner. In the CNT, players can experience a bit of everything we mentioned above, except for the Extreme Gear. Sorry, we're saving that one for later, and compete against players around the world. So the adverts of King Dodonpa in the game are not just there for an Easter egg, King Dodonpa is going to be in this game it seems. And yeah, I guess that's fine. I mean, King Dodonpa in Team Sonic Racing, it was okay, I suppose. I mean, there was no reason for him to ever come back because he just wasn't that interesting of a character to begin with. So maybe they can make him more interesting in Racing CrossWorlds as an actual character. we'll see. And then with the closed network test, you can't use extreme gear in it, so maybe that's a good sign that they're going to try make the extreme gear as good as possible. Maybe they're tweaking it right now, or maybe it's even unfinished. I have no idea, because if they really wanted to have extreme gear in the game, surely they wanted to show it off in this closed network test, right? I mean, this is their best shot of showing people what this game actually has to offer, so why would you exclude the extreme gear here? It's just I don't know, this doesn't make any sense to me, but it's not the biggest deal in the world, I suppose. Right, then moving on to the website for Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, we can see right here, there will be a digital deluxe version of the game, and interestingly enough, what this actually includes is 1, the base game, obviously, number 2, a DLC season pass, which means, yep, and DLC if the game is going to be released, nice. But then, interestingly on the third one, Mickey Mouse Clubhouse playable characters. That's a bit of an interesting collaboration for this. Bit surprising, but I guess it works. But in all seriousness though, they're putting Midge in this game. Oh yay. But to be fair to Primate, there were some interesting alternate costumes for those characters. I mean, like Nine was there, we had Knuckles the Dread. I mean, that's about it really. I mean, I guess some of the Amy designs actually, yeah, Rusty Rose, but apart from that, they weren't that interesting to put as like separate characters, so But if we're going to put Sonic Prime characters in here, can we get Wade Whipple in here? Tom the Cop? Like, come on now. But now, for some reason, the online manual for the closed network test has been released to the public, so the first thing to know here is that the game's being made on Unreal Engine, not Hedgehog Engine 2 this time around, which is good for a number of reasons. Firstly, Hedgehog Engine 2, I feel like it's got a couple limitations that we've seen in Sonic Frontiers and stuff like that, so using stuff like Unreal Engine, yeah, that's a good thing to use. Number 2, I mean, it's Unreal Engine, right, so modding is going to be very easy with it, surely. But then 3, this does make the fact that the Sonic Heroes remake could be more real as we speak, because apparently the leaks were saying that was going to be made in Unreal Engine, so a bit of hope for that as well, a bit of hope. And now I won't read the entirety of this manual because, frankly, we don't need to be hearing all of the stuff in the game right now, but we'll talk about some interesting things here and there. Starting off with the controls, there'll be 2 separate control styles in this game, the standard controls and the Team Sonic Racing controls. I really do like how they've been giving a lot more options for controls over these past couple of years. I mean, with this game, Sonic X Shadow Generations, Colors Ultimate. It's good to see and I hope they actually keep that up in later releases because this is actually a pretty good feature, I like it. And then over here we have an air trick thing, and obviously that's expected, but what's interesting about this is that if you look in the screenshot over there, that appears to be Radical Highway from Sonic Adventure 2, Black Doom's favourite game. And speaking of Black Doom, actually, can we have him as a DLC character please? I mean, if you're putting his favourite level from his favourite game in the game, you gotta put the man himself in here, surely. I mean, come on now. And now we move on to the Steam page for the game. You can see over here that the Steam page is saying that the game is going to have cross-platform multiplayer. Now, while that might sound good at first, we've got to remember that Sonic Superstars also said cross-platform for its multiplayer, but all that meant for the PC version was cross-platform between Epic Games and Steam, so this doesn't necessarily mean that there's going to be cross-platform between console and PC just yet. But something very interesting on the Steam page actually is over here. Content includes interactive elements, in-game purchases, online interactivity, and then in-game chat. There's going to be an in-game chat feature in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds for the online, which is pretty good actually. And with that being said, can somebody please make a mod where we have proximity chat for this game? I think having a proximity chat in a racing game would be so hilarious. Then next up from Sonic Stadium, Sonic Racing CrossWorlds will have a launch lineup of 23 characters, with a ton more to be added afterwards. The initial 23 have already been confirmed. Sega characters have been confirmed for the roster as well, and that is news that I wanted to hear. Team Sonic Racing's roster of characters was so flipping pathetic. I mean, 15 characters. Is that it? Are you serious? And then to make matters worse, they even removed the Sega aspect of all these Sonic Racing games, and that was a big part of the appeal of those Sonic Racing games, just seeing all these Sega characters come together in one game. So I'm glad to hear that actually bringing that aspect back and even having a decently sized roster to begin with as well. But now it is time for some not so good news, because here we have 9 brand new renders for Sonic Racing CrossWorlds. Notice how I said brand new renders. That's right, your eyes are not deceiving you. These are not renders from 20 years ago. These are renders that were made for the latest game, Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, and yeah, there's a big problem here. Why do these renders, once again, look like they were made 20 flipping years ago? They look bad. We've had the same conversation so many damn times, but Sega still keeps refusing to make good looking renders for these characters. And what's so odd about these renders specifically is that we have a tweet right here from Josh Names, not Joe1. How the hell are we regressing? Are we seeing a comparison between the Sonic Racing CrossWorlds Knuckles render, the TSR render, and just like, what the hell happened here? I don't think the Team Sonic Racing renders were anything to write home about, but they looked better than whatever the hell Racing CrossWorlds renders are. Like, bro, what's going on, Sega? Seriously, what is going on? Like, this won't ruin the game or anything like that by having some terrible renders, but it's just simply confusing to me. Like, how are you... Let's just move on before we just question Sega's strange decisions for the millionth time. So for the final tweet of today's video, we have a tweet right here from Mellow Rush, and showing a screenshot of the trailer for the game. Yeah, that's Sweet Mountain. And if we look into the ring in the center there, that does look like the color scheme of the roads in Sweet Mountain. I wouldn't say it's Sweet Mountain for definite, because that does look like Metal Harbor a bit, but it is hard to say, so it's not exactly Metal Harbor just yet, so there is a possibility that Sweet Mountain is in the game, so Colours fans out there, better be looking forward to that, mate. Anyways, yeah, that does it for today's video then, so man, the news for Sonic Racing CrossWorlds was flipping huge after that release of the trailer. My word. And with the abundance of news for this game that we've gotten already, I think this means that the game might be closer than we think. Maybe like a May, June release probably? We'll have to see. But let me know what you guys think of this news. Are you hyped for Sonic Racing CrossWorlds or not? Let me know down below. Love to see what you guys have to say. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, especially that last one. Don't forget to become unleashed by hitting that join button down below. Remember, it's not necessary. And I'll see you all next time. Peace.